Hello, friends. I welcome you to another episode of my podcast series. Well, this episode is again I bring to you basis on a lot of emails that I've received from my social media. Um, there are I have had people direct messaging me over Twitter, over Instagram, and even on LinkedIn. And there has been with the pandemic right now going on coronavirus and everyone living a new normal, which is a life of a lockdown and trying to restore back to normalcy, trying to keep up our sanity in place, and still, listening to all this overloaded information about the pandemic, the cases that falls and rise with time. So the common theme and the queries that came my way were about worries. Obviously, as coaches, as life coaches, we do have people who reach out, and worrying is a very common habit. We all worry. We all worry all the time for something or the other, and it's part of human nature. It's not like there's anyone in the world who may not have had worried ever. We all worry, but there are people, and with this rising pandemic and the lot of impact that it has been having over the jobs, over economic factors, over social factors, over relationships, worry and stress has really been on the rise. People are a bit anxious, and perhaps I could sense that's the reason why a lot of them keep sending in queries as to asking what do we do, and how do we really combat this worry thing, because we every day keep thinking about it. So I thought, okay, let me just create a small podcast series on it, wherein I have come to you with two tips and one fact and one great saying by Mark Twain. And I think these three really can help you combat worry, at least at the basic level. So, first thing, when we think about worry, see, as a coach and even having basic and good enough knowledge of psychology, I would say worry is one of the most useless thing that we could ever invest our time and energy on. So, it is never productive, and it never helps in any way. It's not like if you worry, we get some good out of it. No, it's the only thing, it fetches us nothing. So anytime you worry, keep this in mind that we are entering into the most futile of an activity which fetches us nothing. Now that's one. Second, uh, I came across a saying by Mark Twain, and he's so right when he writes this, that he says, "I'm an old man and I have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happen. Worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. I have spent most of my life worrying about things that never happen." And he suggests that you drag your thoughts away from your troubles by the ears, by the heels, or any other way you can manage it. Having read such great words, I thought the best way one could combat worry is one, write it down. It worked for many people. Believe me, as a coach, it works also for me when I worry. And since it's very natural that we all worry at some point in time, write it down. Write what you're worrying about, and then after that, just below your worries, write what can I do about it, or can I do something about it or not. Ask yourself. Talk back to yourself. Question yourself. And you will find that most of the time, things that we worry are beyond our control. And it makes more sense when we write it down, because once we start worrying, we get into a loop where we keep thinking about things, and then we keep worrying, and then we keep thinking. And it's like a circle that we go round and round, but we don't find a way out. So instead of getting into that confused state, if you could just sit, you may not have to be a writer. You may not be somebody who loves to write. Just type in, if in case you are somebody who are more comfortable with typing, so please go ahead and type. Write your worry. First of all, just put it on paper. So from your head, it's on the paper, so it's out of you. Now, next, ask yourself, Is it within my control? Is it something that I could do something about? And you will find 99% of the time that there are usually worries which we worry about are beyond us and are beyond our control. And therefore, it's of no use spending our time worrying about things which we cannot control. Neither they are under the realm of our control, nor we can do anything about it. But if in case you find that what you're worrying about, if you could do something about it, then write what I can do about it and then do it. Trust me, if you just write it on paper, the answers are all inside you. You will just get it. You might, but while you listen to me here, you might really, some people are skeptical when we say and they think, oh, is it that simple? But trust me, it is. You try it out and you will find it. That's one way. Another way of combating worries is that this is one of the NLP techniques where try to imagine or visualize every time you have a worry thought, have in bold titled cancel, CANCEL, cancel. And every time you have a thought that worries you and you're worried about it, just say to yourself, cancel, meaning you're no longer thinking about that thought. You're moving away from it and you're thinking about something else. Try this exercise. It's more about here what you're trying to do is you're guiding your subconscious mind that the thought that you're having is of no importance, it's irrelevant, and therefore you're just trying to cancel it. So that's another very good and effective way of combating worries. And trust me, friends, if you try this out, I think it really helps. There is another method. This is called ANTS. This is very popular by Dr. Amen, Daniel Amen. He is one of the top leading psychiatrists in USA. He runs his Amen clinics and he also runs various brain coaching workshops. I have attended most of his workshops. And here where I learned when he called these worry thoughts as ANTS, ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. So it's an acronym for ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. So what he says is that the same thing. When you have thoughts that are negative, that you're worrying about, and it's really making you stressful and anxious, ask yourself these 4 questions. And you could ask yourself either put it on the screen or you write it down. So you ask yourself, first thing, is it true? So whatever thought you have, just ask yourself, is it true? And then the second question you ask yourself is, can I absolutely know that it is true? So whatever thought you have, the first filter is it true? The second is, can I absolutely know that it is true? Then the third question you're going to ask yourself is, how do I react when I think that thought? So it's like you're asking the same question to yourself and then you write, so how do I react when I think that thought? And finally, the fourth question is, who would I be without that thought? So these 4 questions, they actually take you inside your subconscious mind and can bring out real useful insights about your own self. The moment you write your thoughts on paper, half of their intensity is gone, especially the worrisome thoughts. And when you talk back to them, when you ask them these negative thoughts, that is it true? Can I absolutely know that it is true? How do I react when I think that thought? And who would I be without that thought? Trust me, you will find that while you're asking these to yourself, this is where your worry and your stress is actually melting away, and you're getting more insights from inside you, your infinite intelligence. And this is where you then begin to make sense of that whatever you're thinking is actually not really worth so much of worry and stress. It's something very ordinary, and it can be really dealt with. It's not something to really lose your sleep over or to get stressful about or to get anxious about. So you can do this and reduce your stress to a very large extent. and start embracing more positive, accurate thoughts that helps you guide you make better decisions, better choices in life. So try these three techniques. I shall put this in the footnote of this podcast. You could take it, and the credit goes to Dr. Daniel Amen. He's the one, even the NLP thing that I spoke about, I'll put the author there. That's also something that you could try. And the first one, which I said about, where you write and say what I can do about it, even that. So try it out and don't worry. Be happy and embrace positivity. It takes a while to do it, but let's cultivate it and move towards a better life, a more positive one. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my podcast series. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, you could leave your queries to my coordinates that are also there in the podcast footnotes. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being my audience. Talk to you soon.